Iran's proxies or allies. Understanding Khamenei's denials amid escalations. This briefing analyzes Iran's rhetoric and actions regarding its relationships with regional groups often referred to as proxies. While Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei asserts these groups operate independently, the sources highlight Iran's material support to them. These actions suggest an unstable situation with significant potential for further escalation. 1. Iran's denials of proxy relationships. Khamenei's stance. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has publicly stated that groups such as the Houthis in Yemen, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Hamas in Palestine are not proxies of Iran. Quote, "The Islamic Republic does not have a representative force. Yemen fights because it has faith. Hezbollah fights because the power of faith brings it to the field. Hamas and Jihad fight because the belief forces them to do so. They do not represent us. If we want to act one day, we don't need a proxy force." Strategic interpretation. Khamenei's statement appears designed to distance Iran from direct responsibility for these groups' actions, framing their activities as ideologically driven rather than Tehran-controlled. This could mitigate international scrutiny and sanctions. 2. The axis of resistance. Iran's perspective. Iran considers groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis as part of an axis of resistance opposing Israel and its allies. Regional setbacks. Recent conflicts have weakened this axis, including Hamas's struggles in Gaza, Hezbollah's diminished role in Lebanon, and the instability in Syria. Quote, "Iran calls these groups the axis of resistance. This axis has been hammered." Consequences. These setbacks suggest broader regional conflicts rather than isolated events, reinforcing Iran's strategic rhetoric defending these groups. 3. Iran's material support to proxies, contradictions in claims. Despite denying direct proxy relationships, Iran provides extensive material support to these groups, especially the Houthis in Yemen. Forms of support. Weapon transfers, training, and intelligence are key elements of Iran's assistance. Quote, "Since 2009, Iran has supported the Houthis in multiple ways, with weapon transfers, training, and intelligence support." Implications. This material backing highlights a tension between Iran's public rhetoric and its actions, emphasizing its role in extending regional influence. 4. Escalating tensions and conflicts. Yemen. Israeli strikes on Houthi targets have escalated tensions, with Houthi missile attacks on Israel as retaliation. Quote, "Israel conducted a series of strikes in Yemen. Retaliatory strikes followed. The Houthis launched missiles towards Israel. At least one fell in Tel Aviv, injuring a dozen people." The U.S. has also targeted Houthi facilities, reflecting broader international involvement. Syria. A volatile situation persists as Iran encourages young Syrians to oppose external interference and groups controlling Damascus. Lebanon. Israeli actions targeting Hezbollah indicate continued hostility, with Israel claiming to have weakened Hezbollah's capacity to protect Iran, and quote, "Israel said that Hezbollah can no longer protect Iran as Israel had acted to eliminate this threat." Overall instability. These interconnected conflicts suggest an enduring and escalating struggle for influence across the region. 5. Regional dynamics and shifting alliances. Turkey and Syria. Diplomatic meetings indicate shifting regional power dynamics. Israel. Israel's strategy appears aimed at weakening Iran and its regional allies through its actions in Gaza, Syria, and beyond. U.S. involvement. U.S. military strikes and interventions signal continued efforts to counter Iran's influence. In brief, the West Asian region remains highly volatile, with Iran's denial of direct proxy relationships serving as a strategic narrative. Despite these denials, Iran's material support to regional groups underlines its role in sustaining and benefiting from their actions. The interconnected conflicts involving these groups are escalating, raising the potential for broader regional warfare. Iran's rhetoric and actions suggest a sustained effort to bolster its influence amid growing tensions and shifting alliances.